Hi, Nick Collier here, and this is my shop. Come join me. We'll have some fun. So this is where we set this up originally, and it worked pretty good. But I knew I was going to have some adjustments, so we had to move. Oh no, we had to move this hole down just a little bit, and then this edge needed to be much wider because this part here was going to have to be at a 90-degree angle to allow us to cut a hole in this for the instrument panel. Okay, so this is the second try, and actually the third try. Two-time Nick, that's what they call me. This time it was 3, but that's just part of the process. So we're going to take it over to the other mill and cut our V's in the parts where it's going to fold like that. See, we cut a V on that side. So we'll be over there. As you can tell, we're hanging way out on the edge, as usual, at the far limits of the machine itself. But it is working. And all we're trying to do is score the metal so we can bend it. Yeah. That's what we get for using that thing. We bent it.
Oh yeah. Doing it then, huh?
Okay, bent the shit out of that, right? That wasn't good.
No. You're making a new one.
Yeah.
I almost got it. Yeah.
Did it make it?
Yeah, look at that over.
Pretty close.
Let's check it.
Let's see. It came out pretty good. And we might be a little bit shy of 90 degrees, but we got most of it. Okay, so let's mount this baby up and see if we got something. It's better.
Yeah. Hopefully it goes through. I could
It's probably stripped now that we went in sideways. But don't tighten that up, just tighten the top one up. Good. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Now we need to get the control box set up. So then the control box is going to go right here.
Yeah.
Actually, it'll come in from this direction. But that, I think, is another day.
Tomorrow. Yeah, that's nice.
It's a good start.
It gives us room. If we come out.
Well, you can always count on it. We've got everything in place. We've got this little aluminum spacer here that takes the place of the Lovejoy to give us a position. And it turns out that here's our control box, and I was hoping for it to go right in below here and face out from there, but these bolts are too long. So we have just enough room for these bolts to be workable. So what we've done is we've come into this little point here, and we have to cut our groove here and bend it from that point. And then we have to recut our holes because, of course, now it's almost a 1/4 inch closer. And so what we're going to do is Jason's going to weld up the holes, and then we'll come back in and calculate the distance and make the bend. All right. Let's do that. Garbage can. Okay, so we've got the bracket for this side, and we cut a hole for the controller, which is here, and of course we cut the hole on the wrong side because this is the side you're going to work from, and you need to have the controller facing this direction. Here's the controller facing that direction. Now the problem is we've got extra bolt here. And I think it's going to be fine. We'll just end up cutting the excess of that bolt off. So that's the basics. Now what we want to do is we want to come in and build a bracket for this side. Okay. Off on another tangent. Now, at one point we did build a bracket. Oh no, we cut the piece of steel to build the bracket. And that piece of steel is not long enough. So there must be another piece laying around. Okay, we're starting one more time. I'm going to show you all of the false starts. That one I caught pretty early. This one we got almost most done and realized it was the wrong shape. This one was too short. So there's a bunch of wasted material and time, but it's all part of the process. So let's get going. We're going to square this all up so that we've got what we want. All right, I've got my 4 holes drilled, hopefully in the right place. I've indexed my bend line right here. Now I need to come back and index that line. So, pretty simple. And that puts us right on the line. Okay, so now at this point we go over and we cut our V so that we can bend this. So I originally had a 60-degree cutter in there, and of course you cut a single pass and then you try to bend it in a 90 and it won't bend. It'll stretch. So we lose our position. So the only other one I have is a 45 with a 90-degree face on it. So I've cut one side. Now what I'm going to do is flip the cutter and cut the other side. Okay, a nice deep cup and 45. So we might, it's deep enough, we might be able to just bend that by hand. But if not, we've got the press. I think I'm going to call it a day here, and we'll come back to the rest of this tomorrow. Well, it's the next day, and we went through all the way through yesterday, so excited that we were fairly close that I forgot to turn the camera on. And we did, all kinds of little glitches came up, but we kind of soldiered through each one and got this thing functioning. And you can see it working here. There it goes. And we were very excited. It was like, yes, okay, it works. Now we have to figure out the production line of the whole approach. And we came up with having these bent and, you know, drilling the holes in the proper places and laying the whole thing out so that we could reproduce it. And then I took some macadamia nuts and threw them in the hole, and man, it just snapped them. Let me go get some, and I'll show you. Mostly because I want to eat some macadamia nuts. And this guy calls me up the other day and says, oh, I want to buy one of these nutcrackers. I live in Hawaii. And I said, oh, that's cool. He says, you got any deals? And I'm like, oh, yeah, right, deals. Everybody's looking for a deal. And so we got into a little bit of a conversation. And he says, yeah, I got this old grandfather macadamia tree that just produces nuts like you can't believe. And I says, oh, I like macadamia nuts. How about you do this? How about you put a bunch in a box, ship them to me, and I'll give you a $50 discount. I'm thinking, you know, that's worth it. And he sends me these nuts that are monsters. Look at them. They're huge. I mean, typically, this is as big a nut as you can come up with. These are massive. And they taste really good. So, anyhow, let's run some nuts through this and see what we can come up with. We need to adjust it in a little bit. Something like about there. We'll just throw one or two in at a time. And that's exactly what happened. The motor stalled out. And I'm like, oh man, this is not good, because if the motor stalls out, it's a lost cause. We can't sell a product that doesn't work. So we're like, both Jason and I were just like, oh man, this is not good. All this effort. I mean, we spent all week working on this. And so I thought, well, okay, well, we just got to buy another motor that's stronger and try that out. Probably going to have to make new brackets, and, you know, I'll spend another week messing with it. And I went to eBay, and the same company that makes this motor makes a stronger motor, probably twice as strong. And it bolts right up the same way, and it's got the same size shaft. Everything is the same. So I ordered the motor, and it was like $90 or something like that, which was well within range for us. And all I have to do is take this motor off, put that motor on, try it out, see if it works. And if it does, we're home. And if it doesn't, well, we got to continue going in another direction. But let me crack a nut so I can have some macadamia. Okay, now okay, not that. Look at that. It just jams right up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, in a sense, reverse engineer this for your pleasure. Because I forgot to turn the camera on. So let's point it down towards the whole nutcracker and start taking it apart, and I'll tell you what happened as we go. This was a temporary thing because these holes were not in the right position. But, you know, that kind of thing happens. All you have to do is adjust it, and with the next one you make, put it in the right position. It also was just a little bit short of being of the full length and holding this thing perpendicular to the shaft. And the motor comes off, the Lovejoy connection comes off, and what we had to do here is bore this out and put a key in that in the Lovejoy that would fit. And that wasn't too difficult. The difficult part was this part. And I'm still looking for another tool. There it is. And so we ended up buying a four-sided brooch and broaching the hole so that it would fit on the cam and be able to turn it. We had to come in and bore that out and then get the set screw in there, and that is that part. And the other thing that we had to do is cut a groove in this, or cut a bit of the surface away from this side here, because the hopper rotates back on this screw, and that hopper tang goes right in here. So we just got a piece of metal that was close to the hopper tang to go in. Now we had cut this side of the hole to put the controller in, but of course it was the back side. So that's the process. And as I said, we worked all week getting this set up, and it's now Friday. So let's put this back together, and I'll fast forward you to do it. Well, there you have it. we're waiting for the motor to show up. Should be here by Monday or Tuesday. It's Friday. And then we'll get back to this and see if it works. And if it does, then we start kind of resolving all of the small issues that are going on, and then figure out how to reproduce this and mass produce this. Not mass, maybe 10 at a time or something like that. So, this is Nick Collier checking out for now. We will be back.